This is Slow English. The Fisherman and His Friend. Next day, Sue waited on the riverbank to see if anything would happen, and lo, a woman carrying a child in her arms came along. When close to the edge of the river, she stumbled and fell into the water, managing, however, to throw the child safely onto the bank, where it lay kicking and sprawling and crying at the top of its voice. The woman herself sank and rose several times, until at last she succeeded in clutching hold of the bank and pulled herself, dripping, out. And then, after resting a while, she picked up the child and went on her way. All this time, Sue had been in a great state of excitement, and was on the point of running to help the woman out of the water. But he remembered that she was to be the substitute of his friend, and accordingly restrained himself from doing so. Then, when he saw the woman get out by herself, he began to suspect that Liu Lang's words had not been fulfilled. That night he went to fish as usual, and before long the young man arrived and said, "We meet once again. There is no need now to speak of separation." Sue asked him how it was so, to which he replied, "The woman you saw had already taken my place, but I could not bear to hear the child cry, and I saw that my one life would be purchased at the expense of their 2 lives. Wherefore I let her go. And now I cannot say when I shall have another chance." The union of our destinies may not yet be worked out. "Alas," sighed Sue, "this noble conduct of yours is enough to move God Almighty." This is Slow English. After this, the 2 friends went on much as they had done before, until one day Liu Lang again said he had come to bid Sue farewell. Sue thought he had found another substitute, but Liu Lang told him that his former behavior had so pleased Almighty Heaven that he had been appointed guardian angel of Wu Chen in the Chao Yuan district, and that on the following morning he would start for his new post. "And if you do not forget the days of our friendship," added he, "I pray you come and see me, in spite of the long journey." "Truly," replied Sue, "you well deserved to be made a god, but the paths of gods and men lie in different directions, and even if the distance were nothing, how should I manage to meet you again?" "Don't be afraid on that score," said Liu Lang. "But come." And then he went away, and Su returned home. The latter immediately began to prepare for the journey, which caused his wife to laugh at him and say, "Supposing you do find such a place at the end of that long journey, you won't be able to hold a conversation with a clay image." Su, however, paid no attention to her remarks and travelled straight to Chao Yuan, where he learned from the inhabitants that there really was a village called Wu Chen, whither he forthwith proceeded and took up his abode at an inn. He then inquired of the landlord where the village temple was, to which the latter replied by asking him, somewhat hurriedly, if he was speaking to Mr. Su. Su informed him that his name was Su, asking in reply how he came to know it. Whereupon the landlord further inquired if his native place was not Su Chao. Su told him it was, and again asked him how he knew all this, to which the landlord made no answer, but rushed out of the room, and in a few moments the place was crowded with old and young, men, women, and children, all come to visit Su. They then told him that a few nights before they had seen their guardian deity in a vision, and he had informed them that Mr. Su would arrive shortly, and had bidden them to provide him with travelling expenses, etc. Su was very much astonished at this, and went off at once to the shrine, where he invoked his friend as follows. "Ever since we parted, I have had you daily and nightly in my thoughts, and now that I have fulfilled my promise of coming to see you, I have to thank you for the orders you have issued to the people of the place. As for me, I have nothing to offer you but a cup of wine, which I pray you accept as though we were drinking together on the river bank." He then burnt a quantity of paper money when, lo, a wind suddenly arose, which, after whirling round and round behind the shrine, soon dropped, and all was still. That night, Su dreamed that his friend came to him, dressed in his official cap and robes, and very different in appearance from what he used to be, and thanked him, saying, "It is truly kind of you to visit me thus. I only regret that my position makes me unable to meet you face to face, and that though near, we are still so far. the people here will give you a trifle, which pray accept for my sake. And when you go away, I will see you a short way on your journey." A few days afterwards, Su prepared to start, in spite of the numerous invitations to stay, which poured in upon him from all sides. And then the inhabitants loaded him with presents of all kinds, and escorted him out of the village. There a whirlwind arose, and accompanied him several miles, when he turned round and invoked his friend thus: "Liu Lang, take care of your valued person. Do not trouble yourself to come any farther. Your noble heart will ensure happiness to this district, and there is no occasion for me to give a word of advice to my old friend." By and by, the whirlwind ceased, and the villagers, who were much astonished, returned to their own homes. Su, too, travelled homewards, and being now a man of some means, ceased to work any more as a fisherman. And whenever he met a Chao Yuan man, he would ask him about that guardian angel, being always informed, in reply, that he was a most beneficent god. Some say the place was Shi Kang Chuang in Changchu. I can't say which it was myself. And that's the end of the story. This is Slow English.
MI Radio.